Hi, we are starting something new. We thought we'd have a little chat because Bono and I chat sort of a few times a week, and we thought we'd record it and share it with you because we're really excited about something we've just finished, which is the Microbiome Restoration Center Naturopathic and Functional Medicine Approaches to Gastrointestinal Disorders course.
That's not a mouthful at all.
Oh, there was more than a mouthful in that course, wasn't it?
Yes.
So it was 10 weeks of very intensive learning. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah. So, we're talking 5, 6, 7 hours of intensive learning a week. So it was really full on, but we learned a huge deal, which I know I've already been implementing in practice, Hannah, and you probably have too. So it's great. Just absolutely loved it. And so I guess let's talk about some of the things that we got out of it. And I know, well, you wanted to talk about this one, but I'm going to take it. Fiber.
You can't eat enough.
Yeah. And, we all know our microbiome is like a garden and we need to fertilize that garden. And the more diversity we have in our microbiome, the better. And I did another video on doing the 40 plant food challenge in a week, but the more plant foods we can eat, the more diverse our microbiome will be and the healthier we will be, because the microbiome really directs so much of what happens with our health, not just in our gut, but systemically as well. So
and like eating it, I mean, there's so many conditions that we talked about that eventually, need to be having a high fiber, mostly plant-based diet, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Obviously there's going to be conditions that you just cannot eat high fiber. You can't eat legumes, you can't eat onions, and there's a reason for that. So really trying to work out how to fix that means that you can get that. That's actually the key. So it's not normal that you can't eat garlic. It feels sad. So I think working out how to fix like a life without hummus. What is that? I don't know what that is. Another thing we learned that I thought was really good was that probiotics are very important, but the strain is actually the most important thing. So I talk about this a lot with my patients already, and looking at that evidence-based strain for the condition that you have. So people come in and say, yeah, I'm taking a probiotic. I'm like, which one are you taking? And they say, this one. And I look it up on my little evidence-based database that I have and have had for years. And I say, great, well, look, you're suffering from lots of chronic constipation, but this probiotic is actually evidence-based for people with diarrhea. They're like, oh, so we really want to try to match the condition with the strain. And there's so much more research on that. And well, the best way to do it, if you're looking at your probiotic, obviously, if you're reading something that's got a probiotic, say Lactobacillus rhamnosus, lots of products have Lactobacillus rhamnosus in it. It's a strain of bacteria. But what happens after that, there's a bunch of numbers that you want to have, or letters. Those strain specificity comes from those things. So Lactobacillus rhamnosus GG, for example, is probably one of the most evidence-based, most researched probiotics in the world. I would say maybe I'm wrong. I think it's pretty common, but you want to really look at what are those numbers and strains and match it to the condition. So that's also really important.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things I loved about the course too, Hannah, was it was very scientific, but also we talked a lot about food as medicine. And obviously, we take our most important medicine 3 times a day, every time we have a meal. So, you can't out supplement a bad diet, as we always say. And I really loved some of the really easy do-at-home fixes for things like constipation, for example. So, when we think about constipation, it's FEF. So, fiber, exercise, fluid, and fruit. So we've talked about fiber. Exercise, obviously moving every day is going to help with transit time. So moving the, stool through and out. And then what was the other F? What was the third F? I'll just go to fruit.
Fluid.
I can't, or fluid. So fluid. So we want to be having, 2 to 2.5 liters of fluid, preferably filtered water a day. And that can be herbal teas and things like that as well. And then fruit. Don't be afraid of fruit, especially if you are constipated. So fruit, sometimes it gets a bad rap. And, we don't want people to be drinking fruit juice because that's had all the fiber and removed. But whole fruit is great for constipation. And so things like green kiwi fruit, dragon fruit, mango, and they're also feeding up those beneficial bacteria in the microbiome that we talked about again. So, you know, you can be having 2 or 3 pieces of fruit a day if you're constipated to really help get things moving, because they're full of great sources of fiber and vitamins and minerals.
Absolutely. And the point of having the fruit and point of having that high fiber diet is that they contain this thing called prebiotics, which are actually really important for gut. So you can take your probiotics, but giving yourself the fuel to feed that bacteria in the prebiotics, be it in whole foods, or obviously we extract some of them and have them in sort of individual prebiotics like PHGG, which a lot of our patients are on, or FOS or GOS, inulin. Those are prebiotics that you can get that actually really help the gut in lots of ways. But if you're not used to fiber, always start slow and build up from there, because too much fiber too quickly makes a bit of a tooty life, and obviously you don't want to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, we don't want too much tooty.
No.
And the other thing, probably just lastly, probably wrapping it up, because we could talk about this all day, obviously, yes, Hannah, is I loved, you know, we trolled through so much research as part of this course. And, you know, I love the way that, especially with this approach to gut health, we're using all the traditional knowledge that we know about all our herbs and nutrients, but we're also combining it with the latest scientific evidence. So everything that we're prescribing, everything that's part of our treatment plan for gastrointestinal disorders is based on evidence. So it's evidence backed by the latest scientific research, which I really love, because it's putting those two things together and taking the best of both worlds, which I think is just the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And individualizing that care for people, and being evidence-based at the same time. You can be both traditional and give evidence-based. So yeah, I love that as well. So for you listening, if you want to do something for your gut, the first thing you need to do is understand what is happening. Most people don't think about their poop. It's kind of like, oh, they just do it or they don't do it. But you'll know if you're bloated, you'll know if you're burping a lot, you'll know if you've got pain in the digestion. But understanding how things work is the key to helping it get better. So 3 things you can do at home right now that will help you understand your gut. The first one is my favorite, is the corn transit time test. People go, oh, okay, yeah, I understand what that is. Because if you eat corn, and you can see when it comes out again, and it gives you an idea of how fast your gut transit is moving. So have it for 1 meal. Don't have it for like leftovers for 3 meals, because it'll like skew the data. So you want to eat it and then just sort of track where it comes out. So 14 to 17 hours maximum, I think. You want it to kind of come out in one bowel movement. You want it to not come out after 3 days. You don't want it to come out over 3 days as well. But sort of understand how your bowels are moving. That gives us a good understanding as well. What's the second thing?
Second thing is you can keep a stool diary. So that is really poo diary. You know, and that's something we'll often provide to our clients, and it's just a little form, and it's got a picture of different types of poo at the top. And literally for a few days or even for a week, if you're really dedicated, you can just keep a track of what form your stool is taking and when you're having the stool, and some of the details around that, just to give us a really good read on, you know, how much you're pooing, what the form is like, which tells us a lot about what's going on in your digestive system. So that's another tool that we like to use in clinic that's super simple, but gives us a lot of intel.
And the third one is the one that we always talk about, and it's the favorite thing that I'm into, is vegetables. Just eat more vegetables and a variety of them. And that really is the key to a happy and healthier life, I think, as well. So I guess that's kind of probably enough. We could we could talk about this so long, because there was so much information in it. But this life of a naturopath is like ongoing learning. We never stop. That's
we love it.
That's why we do this job. We love it. All right. So give us some questions, or if you want to know more, send us a message or book in and see us, and we'll keep helping your digestive health. Thanks, Bronwyn.
Bye.